Hello. Um, I just want to make comments on that last video I uploaded like I promised I would, like I said I would. And I just want to say the reason I was laughing while I was reading some of those scriptures, I just happened to be thinking about what it must have been like to be there. How scary it must have been to all of a sudden see those hogs run away. And one comment I want to make on it is that those verses is that, I've always wondered why Jesus commanded told those demons they could go into the swine. I've always thought about, how could they even go into the swine? Because I don't believe animals have souls like we do. I don't believe when an animal dies it goes to, unfortunately, you animal lovers, I hate to, hope it don't tear your heart up, but I don't believe when an animal dies it goes to heaven. And I don't believe it goes to hell either. An animal can't sin. Or it doesn't seem like an animal can sin. So you just wonder, how could Jesus command those demons to go into those animals? It's an animal can't choose to sin, or not to sin. So, but I read a preacher's sermon one time, and this is kind of part of what I was laughing about, is that, he said, but it really helps me to understand why Jesus let those, demons go into those pigs. He said he believed Jesus let them go into those pigs because, um, when he let them go into those pigs, in another place in Matthew it says demons look for dry places, seeking rest, and they don't find any. So this preacher said that what Jesus did, he believed what Jesus did was when he told those demons to go into those swine, he told those swine, not the demons made them do it, but Jesus told those swine, now y'all go run off in the water. And when they did, when the swine ran off into the water, um, it forced those demons to run out of them. Like, oh no, yeah, it forced those demons to run out of those swine and to be forced into a desert area or something because they can't stand water because water's a type of the Holy Spirit. So I believe that's why they can't stand water, even probably literal water. So it forced those demons, even if they didn't go to hell, it forced them to go out of those hogs and to find a dry place, to wander around in where they couldn't find anybody or anything to possess. Just a dry, barren desert wasteland somewhere. So I thought that was kind of funny when I was thinking about it, and that was a very interesting explanation of why Jesus let those demons go into those swine. Now I want to tell you something else. The part where it says at the end of that story, closer to the end of that story, where the people hear about what Jesus did to those swine and they ask him to leave. I'm telling you, America, people wondered, why did God let 9/11 happen? Well, we've not only asked the Lord to leave, we've told him to leave. We've shook our fist in his face and said, in effect, God, you better leave. And God said, okay. I've dealt with you and dealt with you and dealt with you and dealt with you and dealt with you, America. You're asking me to leave. You're telling me I better leave. I'll leave. All right, I'll leave. He took his hand away and 9/11 happened. And folks, I'm going to tell you something. I believe God was giving America one last chance with Sarah Palin as McCain's running mate as vice president. But America said we want Obama. Even white people said we want Obama. I believe with all my heart Obama is going to make Bill Clinton look like a picnic compared to his wickedness. He's going to make Bill Clinton look like a picnic compared to what he's going to do. And I believe those of you that were complaining about George Bush being in the White House because he was a good man of God, I believe you're going to be screaming to the top of your lungs his first term is over, you're going to be screaming, wishing to God George Bush was back in the White House. You're going to be screaming, wishing to God he was back in the White House. I'm not prophesying that, but I believe that's what's fixing to happen. So fasten your seatbelts. I believe we're fixing to get on a wild roller coaster ride. It's going to be really, really scary. For those of you that know the Lord and love the Lord, look up for your redemption draws now. Whether America is destroyed before or after the rapture, look up and let's do all we can to live right, because Jesus is coming back soon and things can't keep going like they're going, because America has asked God to leave, and he's leaving. I think, unfortunately, maybe an economic collapse will turn our nation back to God, but I don't know. If it happens, I believe our economy is going to collapse, and I believe the world economy is going to collapse. When it happens, I hope it brings our nation back to God, but if it doesn't, woe be unto us, because even worse things will happen. But the main thing is, be ready for Jesus to come back, either by death or by the rapture.